In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do Diablo tricks sideways. It's called Vertex. Hey guys, I am Marco from Spyros Bros, and I'm a Diablo master for 13 years, and today we're going to teach you how to do Vertex Diabolo. Before starting, it is best to practice with a triple bearing Diabolo because these Diabolo allow you to have longer lasting spin on your tricks. If you need one, you can click the link in our description. Before practicing Vertex Diabolo, make sure you have strong abilities on accelerating your Diabolo. So check out our latest tutorial on accelerations. Vertex Diabolo is a new way to show amazing cool tricks, but you need to master these basics first. First, let's learn how to tilt the Diabolo. There are two methods to tilting the Diabolo, using your sticks or the strings. We will learn how to use the strings to tilt the Diabolo vertically. Keep your non-dominant hand in front and pull back on the Diabolo with your dominant hand for the Diabolo to tilt towards you. Do this at first slowly and keep your hands like that until it is almost vertical. Next, for the method in using the stick, follow the outside of your Diablo cup here like if it were a clock. Righties will lay the stick at 3 o'clock, lefties will do it at 9 o'clock. Once you got that down, grind the stick at that part of the Diabolo for it to tilt vertically. The second Vertex trick, accelerating the Diabolo at Vertex. You will need to be good with accelerating the Diabolo normally before doing them in Vertex mode. Let's learn how to use these accelerations so we can use them on Vertex. This acceleration is called the Zigzag. Here's how it will work. To do the Zigzag, use your wrist and forearm on your dominant side to flick the Diabolo towards your non-dominant side. Then gradually through time, lengthen your zigzags, increase the speed of the movement, and strengthen the force of your flicking as you get more comfortable. Then it should look like this. Crucial pointer for the zigzag. It's important you do your zigzags in one straight path parallel to your body and the Diabolo cups so that the Diabolo doesn't tilt during the speed up. Wild and uncontrolled zigzags can lead to this. When doing these accelerations, keep your elbows close to your body like this. Let your non-dominant hand loose to do its natural thing. Make sure that none of your strings at any time make contact with the Diabolo cups, and flick the Diabolo back and forth right above your Diabolo axle. You will need to use a lot of these pointers to do well on this next acceleration method. These are called Chinese acceleration pulls. Here's how this will work. This time you will be flicking the Diabolo upwards and pulling downwards at the side of the Diabolo axle like this. Make sure your hands and Diabolo are parallel to each other at all times during the acceleration. To begin, flick the Diabolo up at a fairly lower height to get used to the control. Once it's about to reach its peak, pull the Diabolo back down right away so you can gain more spin. Keep doing this as many times as you can gradually until you're satisfied with the spin on your Diabolo. Then try to increase the height and speed of the Chinese acceleration pulls as much as possible to gain maximum spin. Then it should look like this. Remember to keep your left hand loose and relaxed. Otherwise, your accelerations will lose control and look wild. And do not synchronize your hands together during the acceleration because it will lack pulse and it won't gain any spin. The basic method of how the hands move in this acceleration. Flick the Diabolo with your dominant hand as high as you want. Once before it reaches its peak, pull the Diabolo down with force and keep repeating it. With the non-dominant hand, it should go down at least slightly lower while the Diabolo is going up. And when the Diabolo is pulled down, the hand should be able to come back to your original handling position. And keep repeating this gradually. Then you can gain maximum spin and use it on Vertex. Normally we might be doing our Chinese accelerations at bigger heights. For Vertex, we will need to shorten it so that you have more control when spinning it. But do not shorten it too much, otherwise you won't get much speed and the Diabolo is at higher risk to crash. Find your own sweet spot of the acceleration so you know how to do the pulls on Vertex. Once you're comfortable with that, let's get into the transition of tilting into accelerating. When the Diabolo is almost vertical, you can start wrapping the Diabolo with your string and accelerating it. If this is a little too extreme at first, you can practice semi-Vertex. Just tilt it halfway like this, and practice accelerating at this angle as long as you can. As you start getting good with this, you should naturally be able to fully go into Vertex mode. Now on what to do with your body during Vertex accelerating. Keep turning your body with your acceleration pulls like this. It will prevent the Diabolo from crashing or change the Diabolo axis, and you'll have much more control. It doesn't matter at what speed you are turning your body, turn at your most comfortable pace. Only stay stationary for a couple of pulls right before transitioning into your next trick like this. When you feel your Diablo has picked up enough speed, it is time to learn how to transition into a trick by doing Diablo Stalls, also known as the stopovers. It is best if you have learned how to do stalls normally on Diablo. Stalls are necessary for almost every Vertax trick, such as the Vortex Suns, which you will learn after stalls. Keep practicing the motion of stalling your Diablo like this. Accelerate the Diablo like if you were on Vertex, and then transition into stalls by unwrapping the Diablo and doing a stopover on your non-dominant side. Then swing back and go back to accelerating your Diablo like this. If this stall method is too hard at first, you can do a trapeze to serve as your stopover instead. This is how to do the trapeze for those who don't know yet. This stall variation is known as the trapeze, which requires you to swing the Diablo over the stick with your string and to catch it on the string on the other side of your stick. If you want to do the regular stall, grip your stick harder at the point where you want the Diablo to pause, while swing the Diablo out to your non-dominant side as far as you can to prevent the Diablo from coming around the stick. Both of these stall methods will serve as a motion and technique to do stalls and going back to the accelerations on Vertex. When you have that down, try doing both stalls on semi-Vertex like this. Now once you're ready to try it on full Vertex, here is a pointer I like to share on how to return to accelerating your Diablo properly. After you stall and stop over, swing with enough force to your dominant side so that the Diablo does not fall or tangle. Once it swings past your dominant shoulder, you can rewrap the Diablo to accelerate again. Keep practicing this because it is the technique you will need to execute the rest of the Vertex tricks like Vortex Suns. The third trick is Vortex Suns. It consists of suns that are over and below your head. They are done in between your stall and re-accelerations, which we learned earlier. For those who do not know how to do regular Diablo Suns, learn that quickly because obviously you'll need that tricks before doing Vortex Suns. The most common and easy way to execute your Vortex Sun is to stall first, then do your sun first over your head, then another sun below your arms like this, and go back to accelerating. The algorithm of the Vortex Suns should be one over sun and one under sun. You can repeat the pattern again to make your Vortex Suns more flashy and cool. Try first 2 times Vortex Suns. You can also go straight into Vortex Suns right after you unloop your Diablo from accelerations and where it will swing towards your non-dominant side. But make sure you stall afterwards so you can go back into your accelerating much smoother. Then you can keep adding more as much as you want as long as you don't break the pattern. Breaking that pattern is a common mistake when first learning Vortex Suns. It will lead to tangling the Diablo. If you want to get fancy, the amount of over-the-head suns in your Vortex Suns has to be equal to the amount of below-the-arm suns. Like 3 overheads and 3 below the arms. And then 1 low, 2 highs, and 1 low. Or even 6 high ones and 6 low ones. You can do your Vertex Suns freely in any way you want, but always remember to do the math so you can get back to neutral and having your Diablo axle in an open string. But this might not work with fixed axle Diablos since they're not meant for long trick combos and the spin dies faster. Vortex Suns on fixed axles should be much simpler and steady with higher precision and finesse. Once you feel comfortable with this, we can move on to the fourth trick. The fourth trick is a more athletic version of Vortex Suns called the Cowboy Jump Rope. To begin, accelerate, stall, and go to Vortex Suns. Except, once you do the low sun, it won't go under your arms. It will go under your legs one by one like this. Once you bring it under after the overhead sun, swing the Diablo towards your dominant leg, then lift or kick that leg up in the air. The Diablo should continue to swing towards the back of your non-dominant leg, and to avoid your leg getting hit, kick that leg out too so the Diablo Sun can come all the way around and get back to accelerating if you wish to. For this trick to work visually well, you will need to execute it at a decently faster pace so that there is more flair in your cowboy jump rope like this. Make sure you're swinging the low sun under your legs stronger and higher off the ground to avoid the Diablo crashing onto the ground. Be aware of the timing and the kick of your legs to go faster at normal speed so that it doesn't get tangled around your leg. You will basically be jumping in the air with alternate leg lifts when doing the cowboy jump rope. Once you get good with cowboy jump rope, you can add more above the head and below your legs so you can get this result. The fifth and last but not least Vertax trick is called the Texas Cowboy. I highly suggest you learn or can already do either jump rope toss and catch or washi jump so you have sense of awareness of jumping over both your Diablo and strings. The trick is the same as cowboy jump rope, except this time you will do a high tuck jump over the low sun. Unlike cowboy jump rope, the Diablo won't be passing far behind you during this move. The Diablo may just pass right below your feet as you jump. It is better if you lean forward slightly during your tuck jump so the Diablo can generally pass under your body. Do not bring your arms behind you during your tuck jump, otherwise everything will end up behind your back. But if you like to use this version, then just bring your sticks back in front of you again and uncross your strings. In the next Vertex Diablo tutorial, we're going to teach you this.